Hi, this is Alex Geeson, and this is Heart and Mind of a Leader. I welcome you to the watching this video. Thank you for watching, and I want to let you know that in this particular video, I want to talk about the book that I've written some time ago, and a relatively quick read, but it's on the topic of interviewing and just the whole practice of interviewing itself. And the title of the book is Facing and Conquering Our Internal Fear of the Interview Process. And this is what the books looks like. And it is available for purchase on Amazon.com. You can find it by either searching by my name, Alex E. Keeson. You can also visit my website, my personal development and leadership website and blog, where I've included links to my author pages for Amazon.com, as well as there will be links that you can find specifically for this book that you can follow along if you're interested in purchasing a copy for yourself as well. And in today's video, I wanted to dive in a little bit into the context of what's in the book, just to give you a little snapshot of what you will find in the book, and really the purpose around it, why I wrote it. It's a relatively quick read. It's going to take you probably just 30 minutes or less to read through the whole thing. But I think it's packed with a lot of good information, a lot of tips that I've included based on my personal experiences of interviewing over the years, as well as interviewing others that they were looking for a job as well and looking for a career. So I've combined all of those experiences that I went through, and I've seen others going through, and I've included some of the highlights, some of the tips, and some of the things to look out for when you are preparing for the interview and during the interview process as well. So this is, again, very easy to follow. That was really how it was designed, how it was intended to be. So there's only 7 chapters in this book, and each chapter has its own purpose and definitely its own topic. And starting off with the first topic here that I discussed in the book is the title of the chapter is Interview Tips for Beginners, because my goal here with this book is to share the tips around the interview process and share the experience and how the interview process should look like for anyone who is either preparing for the interview process or went through the interview process but looking for perhaps a different career, different opportunity within the same company or different companies, or if it's also could be somebody who this is your first employment experience, or you're looking to just get into the workforce. Maybe you're looking for a part-time job because you are in school, so you want to get some extra income, and you're preparing for your first ever interview experience. So that the intent of this book is really to help everyone who needs some help and needs some insight into the interview process, to hopefully your experience with the interview process is much easier, much more simpler, much more fun. So that's what I discussed in the first chapter. The second chapter, I talk about the question of how to enjoy and have fun during the interview process, how to overcome that fear of being interviewed. And I know many of us went through that experience. I know that many of us are afraid of the interview process, preparation, anything has to do with the interview, just even the word itself. So I wanted to highlight how you can enjoy the interview process instead of being afraid of it, and how to have fun during the process as well as during the preparation. Because that's really the key in the interview process is, how do you make it fun? How do you enjoy the experience? Because if you want to do well, and if you want to make the process enjoyable, not just for you, but also for the individual or group of individuals that are interviewing you, how do you make it more enjoyable for all? and as well as good experience, where you're prepared, where you know what you're talking about, where you dress for success, where you did your due diligence, you did your research, and now really it's just a showtime. Now it's time for you to have that wonderful experience that I call interview process, and how to do well during that. So that's what I talk about that in chapter 2. Uh, in the chapter 3, I talk about some of the tips and ways to avoid interviewers' block. And what I mean by that is, if you've ever been through the interview process, you know what that means when you uh, are sitting against a table or desk, or if you're doing it virtually, uh, and then so you're asked a question, you think you're prepared, you did your work, you did your due diligence, you did your research, but nothing comes to mind. You're just stuck. You're not able to answer that question, and you don't know where to go. That's the interviewer's block, and how to overcome that, and some of the tips you can do that. I talk about that in the chapter 3 here. In chapter 4, I talk about really one of the questions that I observed, and one of the things that I've experienced that I've observed others go through, and I've been there myself. But it's really around the topic of, or the question: do you really care about the company, about the experience, or are you just there for an easy ride? And I mean that starts with the interview experience. Do you really care about an interview experience? Do you Are you there because you truly want to be there? Because you truly want to be successful, and help the business that, or the company that you're interviewing for, be successful, and be profitable, and to provide the best experience for your customers and clients? Or are you just there to interview, get a job, and just to get your paycheck, and everything else that really doesn't matter? Even if even if the business is not performing well, or maybe you're not contributing what you said you're going to do during the interview process to the business. So that's a really important question to ask yourself, and I talk about that a little bit more in depth in the chapter 4, because I personally believe that it's important to be successful, and to make sure the business is successful, is if you truly care, and what what you're there to do, and how you can benefit, and how you bring your skills and your strengths to that business. In chapter 5, I talk about the unspoken requirement of knowledge seeking, and building that extreme determination to succeed, really, no matter what, no matter the challenge, because it's important to know that, and I'm sure it's not a surprise if you are in the personal development, that's something you enjoy. If you're truly focusing on investing into yourself and your personal development, your personal growth through self-education, self-learning, as well as acquiring the required base of basic education that you obtain through school and through classes. But on top of that, how do you continue to invest into your own personal growth, both personal and professional? So that's what I talk about that in chapter 5, is the importance of doing that, the importance of being the lifelong student, and seeking out the knowledge, asking for that additional training, asking for the opportunities to develop and grow your existing skills, as well as how to acquire new skills. So talk about that in chapter 5. In chapter 6, really, I just highlight the point of that many of us really just need to stop living in that fantasy world of our wishes and all of our procrastination, and instead focus on hard work and extreme persistence, because that's what's required to be successful, to do well. And because a lot of times, we tend to wait and expect for things to happen, expect for opportunities to find us, and then just somehow just happen without us doing anything about it, or investing our time, investing our energy, and working hard. Um, so that's not how that works. Unfortunately, we will continue to sit there. We will continue to, if we satisfied with the status quo, if we're not looking to change, if we're not ready to change, and if we're not ready to work for what we're looking for to achieve, putting the required work and working smart, and then have that extreme persistence and determination while doing it, it's going to be very challenging to do it any other way. So that's what I talk about that in chapter 6. And then in the last, but not least, chapter 7, I really talk about the point of the importance of not holding on to the present and always be ready to move on, because that's life. Because why I talk about that specifically is because many of us tend to hold on to some experiences, and mostly negative experiences that happened in the past, and we hold on to it, we keep it in our mind, and then as a result, any new opportunities, in most cases professional opportunities that come our way, that we found, we tend to just let them go right by us, without really doing anything about it, without taking any advantage of those opportunities, because we are still living in the past. We are still living in that in those experiences, in those bad experiences or negative experiences or failures that we've been part of, and or happened to us, that we're not looking for anything else, and unfortunately that hurts us in the long run. So focusing on the future, focusing on what we can do to get better, letting those bad experiences go, letting the past go, and focusing on what we can do today, and what can help us to be more successful in the future. That's what I discuss in greater detail in chapter 7. And that's really it in terms of the content of this book. I highly encourage you to guys take a look at, and get yourself a copy. Again, you can find it on Amazon, Amazon.com, and you can either search again by my name, Alex E. Keeson, and you can also go to my website, heartandmindofaLeader.com. And there are plenty of links there that you can follow to where you can get straight to Amazon page where this book could be purchased. But again, that's a little bit closer for you. But that's exactly what I discuss in the book, and I hope that you find it useful. If you were to get a copy, share your feedback. Let me know what you think. But most importantly, I wish you the best in your journey, your professional and personal development journey. But also want to wish you best of luck in your interviewing experience. If you are about to go and do the interview, or participate in the interview, or you're just preparing for one, something that's coming up in the future, either way, I wish you the best. I wish you that you have fun during that experience, that you enjoy the interviewing experience, and you're no longer afraid of the word interviewing. This was Alex Keeson. This was Heart and Mind of a Leader, and I'll include a link also to this book in the in the comment section or right below the video. Wish you the best, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.